Hey there, everyone. Welcome to Fantasy for the Ages, the show where a father and son get together and talk about fantasy, science fiction, and other nerdy things we enjoy. Today, Zach is here to talk with us about another book of the Dresden Files,
Mm.
specifically Dead Beat.
Mm.
Right there. Which in the series is this, Zach? How many books have we done now?
That's a great question. I don't know, 7, 8?
Prepping for that might have been good of us. We don't know. He's done all of them up to this point, so, this is where he is in the series now, Dead Beat. And he's going to talk to us. This is spoiler-lite. He's not going to reveal all the plots here. If you want to know a deep dive on what Dead Beat's about, I have an episode out there. It's a full review of this book. You can find it here on our channel.
I was correct, 7.
Okay, so for book 7, Dead Beat, which is one I find really entertaining, and I'm interested to see what Zach thought of this book. So it's just his thoughts, his reactions, little nuances of how he felt about this book. Zach, tell us about Dead Beat.
I can start by saying I'm glad I'm not talking about you. I'm
not a deadbeat.
I can move on to talking about how this was a better addition to the Dresden Files. Some of the ones in the past have been like, eh. Some have been like, yeah, it's pretty good. This one was back into the, yeah, it was pretty good. There's magic and funky things and, dare I say it, necromancy? And something with dead in the title? I don't think that's too big of a spoiler to say. But it is something interesting. There are some new developments in the world. At least one character that already exists, we get some further backstory into that I think is really interesting. There is a reintroduction, almost a reimagining of a character until you realize later that it's still the same individual, but different. And I don't know if you could follow what I'm actually talking about here, but if I actually talk about what I'm talking about, it won't just mess with perception, it'll mess with your story.
So we don't do that.
Yeah. I love some of the just little cameos of characters and things that we have liked in the past. They don't shine a lot in this book, but they are still there and referenced. And that's good to see.
I think Jim Butcher does a great job of dropping little story hooks with some of these little things, cameos you call them, that often do pay dividends later. They weren't major movers of a particular story, but they're all there for reasons, and they're building stuff that has payoffs down the road, which you don't necessarily know about yet because you haven't finished the series yet.
Yeah, ultimately, my favorite part of this book has to do with that character that I talked about earlier, just their existence and how they're played out here. But the second favorite part, everyone loves Night of the Museum. And it's hard not to like something like that.
And there is a big scene in the museum here. Yeah. A museum plays multiple scenes in this book, but there's a big scene in it that's a fun scene. And significant.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah. So throughout the Dresden Files, different elements of the supernatural, the fae, and stuff have been introduced. So you're saying in this one, necromancy is what's introduced. It really hadn't been a part of things before this book?
Not really. It'd been something that was like known it's a thing, known it's a no-no, and we don't often see a lot of people who can do magic, wizards or otherwise, that are really doing a whole lot of no-no stuff or they get their heads chopped off.
Yeah, there's a zero tolerance policy with some of these things.
But hey, on the bright side, by the end of this book, Harry has another paycheck. So maybe he won't get evicted.
So favorite characters in this book? I mean, Harry doesn't tend to be your favorite character.
No, no.
So which characters would you identify as you particularly enjoy seeing as part of the book?
Butters is fun, not
Waldo
because
Butters.
He's actually fun, but because we gotta enjoy a little bit of Weird Al every now and then. Polka Never Dies or something along those lines.
Nice. Good reference.
I'm gonna say this wrong, but it's like Laciel,
I
I don't
think
know.
Lucille is
Like,
how I
what
say it, but
I
I've
don't
not
wanna
listened to
say
the audiobooks. I've just read, so
I want it to say Lashiel for some reason or other because of something I know later. It just if a character gets a nickname of Lash, I feel like the sh has gotta be already in the name, right?
that makes sense.
There are many reasons that that character is one that I enjoy,
Mhm.
and I think I enjoy the many iterations. It's gonna keep coming up. I know it is.
Oh.
And is this one of the main reasons that I'm okay with continuing reading these books beyond just I'm reading them because you told me I should? Yeah, no, this is a character that's worth reading these books for, I think.
This is one of the elements that's sucking you in a little bit, wanting to know what happens next.
This is just
Okay.
an interesting, complicated, morally funky character.
All right. Any other last things you want to say about Deadbeat?
There's a surprisingly large amount of drummers in this world that just like keeping tempo is not that easy for most people. So like impressive amount in this book.
Yeah. One of my favorite parts of the book, or perhaps one of the most memorable parts, involves Harry Dresden going on a ride. It's pretty cool. Spoiler light, we can't tell what, but
Like I told you, if you remember the movie, I liked Night at the Museum.
all right. That's when we'll go. Zach's going to continue reading through, and in fact, you are farther along than this book in the
Correct.
Dresden Files. So watch for more content as he keeps reacting to the books, and we'll see if eventually he becomes an all-in fan. I sense he's a little more engaged thanks to this book. We'll see. He's still not sure. I saw that head shaking no. But we'll
All
see.
in? Probably not.
There's some good stuff to come, man. We'll
Didn't
see.
say I'm not reading it.
That's all right. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Again, like, leave comments, come find us on social media, all the things. You know what it is. We'll talk to you next time.